me again, Sergeant OCD, being a little OCD again. Today I want to talk about tarps, which is cover, which is something I have quick back here. I'll explain that. Cover, cordage, and cargo. So always have Gorilla tape. I mean, you can use duct tape, it just doesn't withstand like you should. And this is going to be bank line, not sure what number. And this is pseudo paracord, 160 pound test, so, or 110, yeah, 110. So we can call this 110 cord. It's what Walmart's selling, and they call it 550 paracord. So, show you that. 550 paracord. You know, it's good for testing, but you don't ever want to use it in a real world situation. I keep all my real world stuff in my LBE, which I consider my real world gear. One thing I did find is my knife that I got when I was, I don't know, 14 or 15. It's full tang, it's small. I put the plastic covers were coming off, so I tied that up with bank line. I could cut the ends off later, but I just wanted you to see how this actually works. I'm going to test this knife out a little later when I try to, once again, start a fire. But it's not going to be today. I only got a couple hours. One thing I need to correct, I heard somebody say, or I got it stuck in my head, a Fresnel lens to start a fire. You know, I call it a little magnifier, but actually I did some research on it, and it's a Fresno lens. So my bad, correct me. I may start a fire a little later, but definitely want to show you a different technique. I also, especially everything's wet, it's been raining for the last couple of days. I also have a new ferro rod. So I tried the old one, or I tried one of them. I scraped everything off, and I was okay with it. And then I got one of my old knives, and I'll show you how good that thing works. So, you know, new is not always better. Old sometimes works better, but we'll see. But we're gonna get to patching a tarp right now. So you guys might call me crazy. Most people do call me crazy. There's a bunch of holes in this tarp. I like it because it's brown on one side where I can blend in, and it's silver on the other side. But I usually go brown on anyway, because I want to have a fire next to this, like this, and have it reflect. So I'm going to show you one of the ways to make a tarp last longer. Obviously this has been somewhere, I think this is in my barn, over my lawn tractor. So it's got a lot of holes. Realistically, should I patch this? I'll show you how to fix that. Realistically, no, but I'm anal retentive, and I'm really OCD, and I like that tarp, and I want to keep it. Now this tarp, on the other hand, if you could use it as a poncho, it's probably not worth it. So just wanted to show you that. That was outside on another lawn tractor, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I'm gonna throw it aside for now. But one of the things I want to show you is corners. You know how all these are always ripping off, right? The system I have now, that thing's been up for 2 weeks one time, and 2 weeks another time. So a whole month with the wind and the rain of the spring. Hey, it's doing good. So, but it's temporary. It's not permanent. You know, not like making a ridge line kind of like kit, where all you have to do is hook this thing up, to one tree, pull it. It should all pull out, and just keep pulling. It should all pull out. I must have tied it wrong. So, but we're gonna get to that later. We'll make one of these. I put this on there as with Prusik knots, but it's not holding, and I learned later that bank line would be better. So I made one of these for my pack, which I have, and I don't have my LB with me. So no big knives today or hatchets. So basically, and I didn't know about this. I learned this from, once again, another person, another military guy. Found out that Dave Canterbury was in the Army. And I mean, I kind of figured by how direct he is, how assertive he is, but I just, you know, confirmed it one day. So now I put a piece of tape this way, okay, and this one's longer, it's not a big deal, you know. And now I'm going to put another piece of tape this way. So it's going to cover yeah, everything I learned is basically it starts at Dave Canterbury, goes through either the corporal or Ranger Andrew, and then what I do, or I would do, is just poke an X in there and you'll be good. Now another thing I've seen him do, and we're going to do this on another corner, is nice big tarp. Another thing is I've seen them obviously this is going to be a part one. I've seen them go this way too. Me, I would do both, but I would do this way first. So that way the other two pieces will overlap it. Looked like it was going to rain earlier, but the sun's coming out. Maybe I can use that Fresno lens. You know, terminology is all new to me on this, so, you know, I'm bound to make mistakes, but I will fess up to my mistakes. If I do say something, or do something wrong, say something wrong, comment, let me know. I'll correct it. I'm not too proud to apologize for my mistakes. So, this already seems a lot sturdier than this side, so I'll go back and fix that in the other corners. But obviously we have a place that's going to tear, so what I want to do is a couple of things. Fix it first. I found out too that the corporal and Ranger Andrew are a little OCD too, so maybe I picked that name too prematurely, but it is what it is. Said it before. So now that I patched that, I'm going to go run a piece across it, across the top. So that shouldn't rip again or rip anymore. And, you know, I've seen Dave Canterbury, he's like went across the more expensive tarps that they use. They go all the way across, you know. But this is a training tarp. and I'm gonna fix the rest of these, and I'll get back to you. I may just, oh, I can't swap over to that one. We're gonna go over next different types of shelters and different types of cordage, obviously. Dave Canterbury says that bank line is for training. The corporal uses it all the time. Ranger Andrew uses it. So again, it's a matter of preference. Using real paracord on this would be my preference, and that's what I'll probably set up for my LBE. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of this, and we'll come back and we'll tie up a ridge line and hang this, and maybe call it done for today. I don't know yet, because there's some other things I want to do with this tarp, with this bank line, and hopefully I have enough, because I need 100 feet. Because Dave Canterbury says to have a 30-foot ridge line, and then 6 11-foot sections, and that's going to leave you 4 feet left, and that you cut in half for 2 feet, and I'm going to be able to tie this tarp on the bottom of my pack. Oh, welcome back. It's been some rough days lately, running around. Had to take my wife to appointments. It started raining, and it just quit like an hour ago. So my training site is soaked. I'm not much for rain. We had our annual Run for the Sun bike ride today, motorcycle ride. We go over 100 miles, between 100 and 150. It's all for charity, for Jesus Film Project and Open Doors and Mission Ventures, but that's not what this is about. So welcome to my indoor crafting table. It's in my shed. It's, it's a like 10 by 12 shed. I am going to start a fire here because I'm working on char material kits. So these tins I want to use and have my char material in here. Now, what I made before was punk wood, so that's what's in this one. And this is charred cotton, charred cloth. And then this one is a little bit mixture of both. Now this one right here is in my main kit. These are my auxiliary kits. This is actually in a urban kit that, so people don't know I char material. But, I got Cheetos in there. Basically they're wax chemical treated cotton. Which brings me to my next thing. Now, I'm a big container guy, and I was using headphone cases because my wife goes through headphones like they're going out of style about one every 2 months. But I wanted to start charring some material first. But what I did yesterday is I took a bunch of my cotton balls with Vaseline on them. You've seen me use these before. And I made, no, don't eat these. They're cotton balls dipped in wax. So what I did is I made this little fixture where I can take cotton balls soaked in Vaseline and just dip them in. And I'm going to start that up to here too to show you that. I'm going to make a fire. Not going to bore you with that, but today is about cordage. We're going to do toggles. I mean, I covered some of cover, but not as much as I wanted to, because I want to use, with the cordage, I want to make the quick deployment ridge line. So we're going to cover that. I need a fire. My cordage is soaked. I left it out there. I need a fire to do that. I could use my lighter, but there's no fun in that. What I'm going to try to do is make a small fire and light some of this on fire. If not, you know, there is the lighter. I'm trying not to use the lighter because this is simulated survival. This being out of the weather, finding an old shed, this is my go-to hideout. So this is where I do a lot of my tests and bushcrafting, well, survival stuff. So the other thing I want to make with cordage is holders for your backpack. So when you go up to you know, you find a place that you're going to camp, you can find a tree, wrap a cord around there, put a toggle in there, and you'll have a backpack holder. So we're going to go through, you know, some more cordage, some more cargo, and less tarps, less cover, because it is raining. Now I can get my poncho out there and go out and do it, and I may do that, I may not, depending on how much time I have. So we're going to go from there, and I'm going to get some of this stuff. I was going to put the cotton balls in here, but I don't think they're going to fit. Less and less these containers that I'm bringing out are working, so you know, let's get this fire started. I am going to try to use my ferro rod, since that's the best. Okay. I think the camera's on. Since that's the best way I can get things started. I did watch a couple videos on, since I can't find fat wood, that this punk wood that I charred should light with a ferro rod. So I'm going to try to do that. I didn't know I found punk wood. I just happened to be looking at a video today, and I'm like, oh, that's what, I mean, Corporal always talks about punk wood or punky wood. You know, some people call it punky wood, some people call it punk wood. I don't care. It's dried out wood. It's like sponge. So before you char it, it's very, very, actually this piece is not charred. It's very spongy. It's easy to break, like styrofoam. So I'm going to use that. And here's another myth. It's like the military guys are the only ones that know that you don't have to poke a hole in this to get it to char. I mean, every other little site I watch, these people are, oh, you have to poke a hole in here. There's one guy that compared it, poking a hole and not poking a hole, and realized that it comes out the hinges. So, hey, if you want to poke a hole in your can, you can. I'm not. So that's why I don't have a hole in my can. Anyway, this is for my main kit, my small kit for my bike, and my, actually this is for my urban kit and my small kit for my bike. So I'm going to get to starting a fire, and we're going to use my homemade stove, which is basically a 55-gallon drum stood up on its edge. I bought a kit for a 55-gallon drum and made it fit. So it's very kludgy, but hey, it works. And you know, I did it for what I pay for the kit, 40-50 bucks. So and the piping to go into my chimney was, you know, less than $10. I actually have more tape involved, aluminum tape involved than I do piping. So like I said, it's kludgy. And also, I'm going to make a stove out of this, so I can actually burn, heat up anything I want. Mainly I'm doing it to, I've got this bowl, stainless steel bowl that I'm using to melt the wax to make these little nuggets here. I actually do want to try this with my ferro rod, so you know, I'm just going to bring this kit with a couple of things, and we're going to try to make a fire real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot. I want to show you about toggles. So you're going to want some toggles when you are dealing with cordage. By toggles, I mean it's just a little piece of a stick. So this place is already a mess, so I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to get my saw. I got my bag right here. Get safety glasses on. Yeah, one thing, my job, if I get hurt at home, I got to deal with safety there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a couple of these small toggles, and you want to do it the corporal way. I think they call this a plumber's vice or whatever. But, you know, using a bow saw when I was a kid, I always cut myself right here. I got like a couple big gaps. Process most of the cordage. Basically, since this is that cheap imitation paracord, I ended up grabbing one of my candles. What happened to these candles is my wife told me to put them away for prepping. And I put them in the attic, I think. I don't know, they all kind of melted, but this one is actually salvageable, so I may just save it. So I burned all the ends. So I've got a 30 foot. And then 1, 2, 3 10 foots and 2 5s. Now the first thing I want to show you with the 5, I've already put a knot on this one end. Okay, all I did was tie a knot there. That's what people call a stop knot. Now I want to put 4 of these on each edge of my tarp. So some people would want to do that, some people don't want to do that. Hey, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it out because it was suggested that, you know, you do that to your tarps, the tape by Dave Canterbury, the tape on the tarps, and then, you know, cut up 2 30-foot sections of your paracord. Actually, no, 1 30-foot. Basically, you get 100. All I did was tie 2 knots, you know. Tied a knot on this one around this cord, tied a knot around this one around this cord, and I pull it, and it's tied together. So I got a knot on this end, and what I want to do is put a bowline on this one. Now, everybody's got their way to do a bowline. But getting back to David Canterbury, he taped up his tarps and he had 4 of these on each edge. And then I think he had 2 extras, and then he had, you know, 2 2-foot sections. I'm going to show you on my pack what we're going to do with the 2 2-foot sections. Now it's not going to be this paracord because I'm subdued. It's going to be another paracord. It's going to be a green. So basically you want to have this in your hand like this. Okay. We're going to make a loop. Now, this end, your end is over the loop. This is what you call your tree. Now, some people don't like this, but what I'm going to do is, this guy's the rabbit. Rabbit comes out of the hole, around the tree, and then back in the hole, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to create, I'm trying to get my loop down, I'm going the wrong way. It's going to create a loop that doesn't slip. So you've got a loop here. Now I'm going to do this again with another one, but let me go ahead and wrap this up. Now you see a lot of them wrapping things up like this. I never did it, but it makes sense. And then what you're going to want to do is grab the center, and that doesn't go around your thumb, by the way. Oh, before we do that, oh no, not on these. So you want to wrap it around until you get the end, and that knot escapes me. So basically, when I pull this, it's going to go. When I pull this one, it's going to go. So, and this knot will just be at the end. I'm going to blow that out for now. I think I'm going to keep it. So let me do it again on this one. All right, this is a full 10 footer. So I want my, right here. This is going to be my loop, or what I tie is my loop. So hole, rabbit comes out, goes around the tree, right? Back in the hole. And if it comes out like that, you messed up. So, and believe me, I messed up a bunch of these. Rabbit. Oh, I gotta make this a little bigger. So, let me try this again. So, loop, leading in, rabbit comes out, goes back in, comes back through the hole. Now, you see what I'm doing? Is I'm grabbing my loop that I just made and the rabbit. Okay? So this end just gets a knot. Just gets a knot. Again, that doesn't go there, that actually goes there. You could wrap up cords any way you want. When I saw this, I'm like, I gotta try that. Because it's different, but it works. I got the cord in there. It'll work. So I got two, and so on. Now with your long ones, you want to do the same thing. So you've already practiced. Turn. Now, Ranger Andrew makes a little Arby's hat in his hand. Hey, he's not wrong. I look through it. Like I said, I'm very analytical. So I looked through it and I analyzed it, and I'm like, hey, that works. So you want to do this. You see how prepping now will help you later, because probably next weekend we're going to continue cover, and we're going to go over quick deployment. So I'm going to leave this one out a little bit, just because I want to do something with it. Alright, not yet. And we're going to use this as a quick deployment. I've got another one over there, but I forgot to tie a knot in that. And I'm going to finish these up later. Like I said, I got another one, but I'm going to go through that one later. Just got to get my bank line out of my pack. Okay, now what you want to do is get about 12 inches of bank line. I got smoke coming in here for some reason. Fire's out. My flue should be open. Hold on. There we go. Alright, just get about 12 inches on two of them. And then about 18 on one of them. And it doesn't matter if they're bigger or smaller, you can cut them down later, you know. Alright, so what you're going to want to do, same thing, same fisherman knot. You're going to want to tie a knot around this. It's getting smoky in here. Okay. You're going to want to tie a knot around this. and then it's going to end up like that. Now, my old way, which I'll do, the longer, it's not much longer, like an inch longer. My old way is all I did, and I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. I grabbed both of them, I tied both of them in a knot at the same time, and it works. So you could choose to do these however way you want to do these. The important thing is they get done. You basically want a circle. You know, I'm not a, in this type of craft, I'm not a stickler because I'm not a professional. It's more of a monkey see, monkey do with me. So anyway, I'm going to take my line, and I might have to get a little closer for this. So I gotta get some, I gotta open the door. So all I'm gonna do is I work this way, is I'm gonna take this, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to take this and wrap it around through. Wrap it around. Oops. Wrap it around through the loop. There's my loop. Through the loop. And then one more time. And I'm going to pull it down tight. Now, I want to make sure everything's lined up. So what that creates is a prusik knot. Okay? I didn't know about this knot before. It's very, very cool. Okay? I might have to open up a window here shortly here. But what it does is you could pull it one way. You see how I'm trying to pull it? You could loosen it. And it doesn't pull that way. And you could loosen it, and I could move it down the line. So that's a very awesome knot to have on a ridge line, because all I got to do is put this through a tarp, and goes through the hole, right? Put that through the hole, through the tarp, and then put a toggle in. So that's why I cut those toggles. All right, I'm going to pause for a second and get some of the smoke out of here. Okay, so I'm back. I want to get another one done. So all I got to do is wrap it around, pull it through the loop, right? Not too tight. And then wrap it around again, back through the loop. And one more time. This is a very, very cool knot. So, anyway, I showed you the bowline. Just a regular lock knot, whatever knot. Oops. And then prusik. There's really not a whole lot of knots you need to know. Probably a slip knot, probably a square knot, the fisherman's knot I showed you. I mean, if you really get serious about this, which you should, I'm talking to my family, learn all these knots. So when I go out to the field, all I got to do is grab this one right here. Let me back up. Wrong way. This side, okay? Pull. And it's wet, so let me loosen this up a little bit, and it should just pull right out. The last time I did this, it didn't pull out either. And it just pulls out. Okay? So, if you see this, we're going to use this log, right? Instead of wrapping this around and pulling all the way this through, which is the old way to do it, all I have to do is make a loop here. You see my loop? Put a toggle in there, pull my loop tight, and then around that tree is a quick release. Because all I got to do is pull that toggle out and I've got my cord back. I can't explain how easy this is and how much you're going to need to know this. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. My loop's a little bit too big. I'm going to fix that later. But that's what I'm going to do. You know? I could carry this around now if I wanted to. It's another way to carry wood too, if you don't want to use other knots. Okay? So, the other side, a little harder to explain a trucker's hitch. You're going to go around, right? And you're going to have this taut, right? You're going to put a bow in it, like this. And you're going to run this through. A bow in it like this. So it's pulling like a slip knot. No, that's not it either. I gotta work on my trucker's hitch. So basically, let's get this untied. You do put a bow in it. I'm not sure why it didn't work. Anyway, maybe because it's not taut. It's really got to be taut. This pseudo cord is driving me crazy. Anyway, I got my tin out. I closed off all the vents. That's why it started smoking out of it. I don't want to burn up my wood. So let's try this again. You got the leading edge. I know you put a bow in it here. You put this through. That's not it. Alright, we're going to have to work on that trucker's hitch. But, let's go ahead and wrap this back up. Very cool way to wrap. It's quick deployment. The rest of the time I would just do this around my hand and had no idea about this. Alright, so here's what I did. I just got a couple of cords. Two cords, about 2 feet long, maybe less. What I want to do is we just learned the bowline, right? So I'm going to tie a bowline loop. Alright? No, we're not. We're not tying a bowline. What we're going to tie here is we're going to tie a slip knot. I call it a double half hitch. So we're going to bend it, this leading or this edge over top. We're going to come through the hole, and then we're going to go around the hole. Now, you want to leave a little bit of extra so you can grab it, because I think this is going to work. If it doesn't, we'll do something else. But what I'm trying to do is just create a place I can shove a tarp and that it's not hanging down too far. You know, this is already prepped the edge. I already burned off everything. So what I'm going to do is just go through the mole straps that are underneath here, right? There's one, there's another. So I could basically, so I put a knot on there. I could put anything through here. And the reason I said put a string on here is so you could pull it loose. I can't pull it loose that easy. But that's the whole idea, is to be able to pull it loose, let it go. And if you wanted to leave these hanging like I'm gonna, just like that. So it's ready to go in case I'm ready to go. My blanket, I got a wool GI blanket, it's in my car. I could put it on now, I could put it on the top. I mean, I should put it on now because I need to know if it's going to interfere with my butt pack, because my butt pack is pretty darn full. I mean, these knots are easy and they're useful. They're useful for so many things. So what I'm going to try to do here is, this tarp is wet, but I'm going to go ahead and try to put it on here. Get those loose. This would be my ideal tarp because it's a large, I think it's 10 by 14. It's not done the best, but all I got to do, put it on there, and that should hold, but I don't believe it is, so I probably got the wrong knot. That's what this is about. I mean, the other thing I could do is make toggles. So this is actually supposed to tie down against that, and then when I pull this, see how that held? It's supposed to hold. And then my tarp's on there. Obviously it's not straight, but I could straighten it. And then I'm supposed to be able to just pull it loose. Like this one's working. I don't know if my knot's not tight enough or not. No pun intended. So, let me go ahead and leave that on for now. That's another knot. You guys have a good week, and I will see you next time. God bless.